Beneath the dry plains of South America, in the foothills of the Andes, a small flowering plant learned a peculiar trick. After its yellow blossoms faded, it bent its stems toward the earth and pushed its seeds underground, burying its own offspring in the soil. The people who first noticed this strange behavior, more than 7,000 years ago, did not understand the chemistry at work beneath their feet. They only knew that where this plant grew, the ground seemed to grow richer, and the harvest that followed was kinder. They called it many names. We call it the peanut. It is not a nut at all, but a legume, a cousin of beans and peas, and its true gift lies hidden in its roots. Along those roots live colonies of bacteria that pull nitrogen from the air and lock it into the soil, feeding not only the peanut but every crop that comes after it. This quiet partnership made the peanut one of the great healers of exhausted land. From its homeland, the peanut traveled the world inside the holds of ships. Portuguese and Spanish traders carried it across the Atlantic to Africa, where it found soil and climate so welcoming that many came to believe it had grown there since the dawn of time. From Africa it crossed again, this time in the cruel passage of enslaved people, who carried its seeds and its knowledge to the fields of North America. There, in the warm earth of the southern states, the peanut took root in history. For a long time it was dismissed as food for the poor and feed for livestock, beneath the notice of proper farmers. Then came the slow ruin of cotton. Generation after generation of cotton had stripped the southern soil of its life, and a small beetle called the boll weevil finished what exhaustion had begun, devouring the crop and the livelihoods built upon it. Into this crisis stepped a scientist named George Washington Carver, who urged desperate farmers to plant peanuts instead. The legume restored nitrogen to the ravaged ground, and Carver, working in his laboratory, found hundreds of uses for the harvest, from cooking oil to dyes to paper. The peanut did not merely survive the collapse of cotton. It helped the land recover from it. To grow a peanut is to trust the unseen. The seeds are sown in late spring into warm, loose soil, often sandy ground that lets the plants reach down with ease. Through the summer, the plant flowers above ground, but the flowers that matter send slender shoots called pegs burrowing downward, and at the tip of each peg a pod swells beneath the surface. The farmer cannot watch the harvest grow. He must wait and read the leaves and judge by season and by feel when the pods below have ripened. At harvest, the work is reversed. A machine called a digger slips beneath the rows, lifts the entire plant, shakes the soil free, and turns it upside down so the pods face the sun. The plants lie in the field for days, drying in long windrows, before a second machine separates the pods from the vines. What was buried is at last brought into the light. Today, the peanut feeds the world in ways both grand and ordinary. It is pressed into oil that cooks meals across Asia, ground into pastes and sauces that anchor the cuisines of West Africa, and roasted, salted, and spread into the lunches of countless children. In places where hunger threatens the very young, a simple paste of peanuts, sugar, milk, and oil has saved untold lives, requiring no cooking and no clean water, only a foil packet and a child willing to eat. China and India grow it by the tens of millions of tons, and the United States, where it once rescued the soil, still ships it around the globe. Yet for all its modern reach, the peanut remains true to its oldest nature. It still asks little and gives much. It still draws nourishment from the air and leaves the ground better than it found it. In a world that has so often taken from the earth without return, the humble peanut offers a quieter lesson, written in roots and pods beneath the soil, about the patient work of giving back.